Hi, I'm Graham from Second Era of Moles, and if you clicked on this video accidentally, 90 seconds is all I ever ask. Feels like it's been another busy week on Pokemon Masters X. Welcome to the week that was. We've had the Champion Stadium, we've had the legendary Gauntlet still, we've had the launch of the Palentines Sweet Spectacular. I'm sure there's a Shenanigans in there somewhere as well. We've had the release of the jukebox, so I don't know, maybe it's just because I've been trying to grind on the legendary Gauntlet so much, but so busy. But let's get into the week, shall we? And we're going to start, as we always do, with the Champion Stadium. It's the last week in the Johto region. I don't think they've announced yet where we're moving on to. As I said last week, it's probably going to be Nova, but we will see. So in round 1, you get a physical attack reduction. As always, when you get this condition, it's a good idea to go up against Bruno. So I did just that with a team of Xerneas and Sycamore, Lily and Clefairy, and Dawn and Torterra. So you want to make sure that you have your stats reductions on for this one, because you've got Attack Siphon and Lily doing Disarming Voice, and then you've got Xerneas as your striker with his big antlers and his X-eyes. So to get down to that first sync move, you're doing Dazzling Gleam, you're doing Disarming Voice, and you're doing X Defense with Dawn. That first sync move is going to go to Sycamore for that special attack boost and also that speed boost. I think that comes in useful for everyone, so get that in there as soon as possible. After that, you're starting off with Moonblast to do that good fairy damage. Lily is still doing Disarming Voice because of that unfortuitous grid tile that she has where it reduces a random stat every time. Dawn, if she's got no more X defense, is moving on to Razor Leaf to do a little bit of damage. So that should get you down quite comfortably to your second sync move. Now I have Lily and Dawn both at 6x. I decided that it was better to sync with Lily first because she gets a sync with Cure, so everyone recovers a little bit of health. Because Dawn's been taking some hits from Bruno, some jabs from Hitmonchan, it's probably a good idea to do that sooner rather than later so that she can recover a bit. On my first run, where I didn't quite manage to do it, I wasn't aware of my health, so Dawn fainted before I even used Good as New on her, so I was determined that was going to happen the second time around. But the blows that Bruno were doing shouldn't be too effective. The combination of X Defense and Attack Siphon and the boosts from the condition all mean that little damage, sad Bruno. So when a sync move comes, doesn't do too much damage. You carry on with Moonblast. You can do a Horn Leech if you feel your health is getting that low. Lily's still doing Disarming Voice. If you're running low on move gauge, you can use an X accuracy. That's going to restore a little bit of her health as well. Make sure that you do get to use a Good as New with Dawn. That's going to keep her upright. Unfortunately, she's not immortal in this battle, so she's going to faint at some point, probably before Hitmonchan, but then you're going to take Hitmonchan out soon after. Your sync moves after that are going back to Lily for that fairy type damage. One of the sides eventually took her down too, unfortunately. That just left Xerneas, and there was no way that they were going to take out Xerneas. Xerneas has no time for foolish fighting types. Next up is round 2, where you get a special attack boost. I decided to take on Koga for this one. He was weak to Ice type, so I had Getsis and Kyurem as my main striker, and then I had Clemont and Heliolisk and Signasuit, Alesa and Rotom to round out my team. Clemont is in there as someone a little bit different to what I usually do, but also because with his Mud Slap and Electro Whip he can reduce both speed and accuracy. Speed reductions feed into Kyurem's sync move and make that more powerful, so it's useful to have a bit more of that on the team. Alesa speaks for herself, Kyurem speaks for himself, especially when he uses Glaciate, which is very, very handy when you get some freezing, so make sure that you have status conditions on, make sure you have stats reductions on as well. I could have made this one a little bit easier for myself if I'd have maybe turned on the healing points option, but yeah, still managed to get it done. So Getsis is using Glaciate. You can also use some Wahahas to up that crit hit rate and that special attack rate. Clemont is starting off with Mud Slap, maybe an Activate if you're low on move gauge. Alesa is boosting special attack. Alesa also gets that first sync move as 6x. Then you're into the second phase. Claremont moves to using Electro Web to make sure that speed is going down. Kyurem is still doing either Glaciate or Mwahaha. If the move gauge is low, you can maybe use a Noble Roar as well to reduce some of that attack. For Koga, Alesa is using Breathtaking and then Thundershock to get you down to that second sync move. That goes to Kyurem to hopefully do big damage. More Glaciate, going to take out the sides reasonably early. Koga's sync move does hit the team quite hard. Probably going to wipe out Alesa, and it leaves Claremont and Kyurem both with like not very much health. That's when Claremont can switch to using Parabolic Charge to get some of that health back. Kyurem is still doing either Glaciate or Noble Roar, but with enough Glaciates this one should come good. Might take you a couple of tries to get it all lined up though for that perfect strategy. Round 3 now, where you get a physical attack boost. Karen was weak to fighting types, so obvious choice there. I took her on with a team of Bian, Surfetch, Leaf and Eevee, and Liza and Lunatone. So I tried to mix in different units into my team every now and again. So Eevee pulls tanking duties, B is your striker, and Liza is in there to raise that special defense. So you start off Liza doing just that. Eevee's using Tackle, B is using XP to raise that speed. Eevee got poisoned quite early on in this one, which I found very irritating because I kind of use Eevee just in spam Tackle to get that sync move countdown. But yeah, this time I had to use potions and other things like that to keep her healed up. She gets that first sync move though for that universal stats boost. In that second phase, B is upping her attack and then using Meteor Mash. Liza is using any trainer move she's not used already and then moving on to Confusion. Eevee is using Let's Go and Potions to either boost that move gauge or keep itself alive. And then when that second sync move comes along, it goes to B and she's just going to flatten Karen's entire team in one hit. For the last member of the last Elite Four in this region for this go around, your condition is don't let any of your sync pairs faint. Will was weak to dark types, he was the one left over, so I took him on with a team of the Masked Royal, Piers and Obstagoon, and Signasuit Blue and Blastoise. I'd already decided that Masked Royal was going to be my main striker, so I was like, okay, who are my stalliest stink pairs? Stink pairs! Oh, the stink! Who are my stalliest sync pairs? And I obviously arrived at the conclusion that it was Piers and Signasuit Blue. So Piers starts off with Dire Hit to raise everyone's crit hit rate, and then Night Slash. Masked Royal starts off with Ready Fight and then moves on to Brutal Swing. With Blue, you're not using X defense, you're going for a Water Pulse and hoping that that passive kicks in where it raises everyone's special defense, because special defense is much more useful in this battle against Will, who's going to be using special attacks, than X defense, where that's not really going to help you against any of those special attacks. You get Blue with that first sync move to give everyone that endurance as always, then to the top to get that move gauge boosted. The Masked Royal is going to raise its attack and then onto Brutal Swing again, because that's going to reduce stats. Make sure you've got stats reductions on, because Masked Royal has passives that make its moves and sync moves stronger when the opponent's stats go down. Piers is going to be using Night Slash. Save your Obstructs and Shout My Names for now, because they're going to come in handy later when he's the main target. He gets that next sync move, aim it at one of the sides to do some big damage to them. Will's going to have his sync move next. It's going to do decent damage. It's going to take Blue to very low health, so he's going to faint quite soon after. Water Pulse is still your go-to to raise that special defense. That's raise. That's lower. Raise. You're going to be starting Darkest Lariat at the sides, because once they faint, everyone else's stats drops. That's the condition of the round. Your sync moves are still going to go at the middle though to do big damage in there. Piers is going to be using Obstruct to nullify some of those attacks that come his way. And then if they take all of his health out, he's got Shout My Name to give him another lot of endurance. If the sides are on like really low health, don't use a Darkest Lariat, use a Brutal Swing, because that's going to do some stats reductions as well to everyone else. It's going to power up that sync move. So you take out one side, you take out the other, you get a big sync move that does like 20-25k damage, and all you need is one more spinning Darkest Lariat. With the Obstructs and Shout My Names, it's a little bit finicky to work out, but I think this is a pretty solid strategy. Not stolid, solid. Nailed it. Last but not least, the champion round with Lance. His permanent condition is a special attack reduction. I chose the optional condition of a physical attack boost. This was a bit of a weird one because you could have had a special attack reduction and also a special attack boost, and it's like, how would it handle that? I just thought it was weird that you could have those sort of two counteracting conditions up against each other. I didn't choose it, but I thought it was interesting. So the team I chose was Hop and Zamastera, Steven and Metagross, and Jasmine and Steelix. Jasmine tanks, Hop heals, Steven deals damage. So you start off with X attack to feed into Steven's Haymaker. Hop is either Hop to it or Behemoth Bash. With Jasmine, you're using X defense and then probably a Gyro Ball to get down to that sync move. She gets it so that you get Mega Steelix and also that 6x boost. After that, it's all about getting a sync move with Steven and also a crit hit on that. So you can do that by going with Iron Head with Steven, using Clang and Gyro Ball with Jasmine, and Metal Claw and Potions with Hop. The final move before your sync move with Steven should be Best There Is. That's going to guarantee the next move is a crit hit. If you do that onto your sync move, it's just going to go bish bash bosh. And then you can walk out of that Champion Stadium pretty damn happy. Ooh, or hoppy. Yeah. So that's the final Champion Stadium 10k points run for Johto. Next week will be a new region. We'll discover very quickly what that one is. So come back here when you need help with your points. I'm going to talk quickly about the Legendary Gauntlet. My win streak is currently in the mid-20s. I think it's going to finish up around there. At this point, I'm just sending wave after wave of Pokemon to their doom against these three. I'll be honest, I found it a little bit stressful because I'm used up probably a lot of good units far too early, so I'm trying to do things that are going to just about work, and when you're trying and then something happens, it's like, no, it's so close. You just want to throw your phone at a window. And I've still got good units left. I've still got like Mew I haven't used yet, Brendan. It's just I don't have the teams to put around it so that I can get on a good run. So it's like I can do like half a bar and that's it. But yeah, what I've learned is that you've got to maximize your team's efficiency. So if you're getting to the end and you're beating it and you've still got all three Pokemon with more than half of their health, you've wasted at least one unit from that team, maybe even two. So yeah, you want to be just about doing it, if that makes sense. So it's like your last move, and if you don't hit it, then you're gonna faint or something like that. I'll be aiming for 30 wins next time around. I think it's within reach. It might give me an aneurysm to do it, but I think it's in reach. And we get a little break from it now for everyone to regroup, figure out what units need to be powered up, what lucky skills you need to give to who, and that sort of thing. So yeah, bit of a break. Give me an ice pack to put on my head. For this year's Valentine's Day, we've got a Palentines event. We've got some sweet shenanigans going on. I really like the word shenanigans. It feels fun to say. This event is super weird in the storyline though, because the guy loves the Ponyta, and it's like, okay. I mean, even if there is no like sexual element to it, it's still pretty damn weird, and it still raises some very uncomfortable questions. For me, at least. If Ponyta's a thing, then you do you. At the moment though, I'm still using my stamina on the specs event because there's a better drop rate for that, I think. At least with the units that I have, you can get your 3-star tickets much more quickly. For the battle challenge on round 2, you can earn 2 tokens. The first one is for using 1 steel and 1 ice type in there, and the second one is for using 2 Galarian pairs. So I think I'm up to 6, maybe 7 Galarian pairs in there, so I'm on my way. But to do that, the team I used was Hop and Zamasemester, Glacier and Glally, and Gloria and Zacian as my main striker. So it helps that Hop is both free unit and also steel and also Galar. So he covers off all 3 of the points that you want. You're using him as your sort of main tank. You're hoping that Glacier gets some freezing from her powdered snow, and then Zacian is just going to town with Behemoth Blade and big sync moves. The final new feature is the jukebox, so you can do daily battles to earn coins to unlock cool new tunes. It doesn't really affect me too much as I tend to play with the sound off, as I said last week, but hey, maybe one of these days I'll flick through it and I'll give it the old funsy nudge and we'll find something that we like. But that was the week that was. Quite a busy one, spending time on the legendary Gauntlet. It gave me a few grey hairs and took about 6 months off my life with the stress, but gotta remember that it's just a game. It's just a game. Doesn't matter. But you're well past the 90-second mark at this point, so thank you very much and congratulations on making it to this point. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm SEOM_YT. You can also subscribe to the channel and you'll get notifications and it'll pop up in your subscriptions when the week that was for next week comes along. For now, that's the week that will be. Thank you very much for watching this video and goodbye.